In the heart of the city, under the glow of neon lights, a bustling pizzeria named Sal's Slice had gained notoriety for its scrumptious pizzas and their irresistible aroma. However, beyond the tantalizing smell and the cheerful facade lurked a story that unfolded only after the sun had set. As the clock struck midnight, the last orders were placed, and the pizzeria staff began their closing routines. Sal, the owner, had always been a jovial figure during the day, but as night fell, his demeanor shifted. He would lock the doors, draw the curtains, and only serve the mysterious midnight special to those who dared to call after hours. One stormy night, a hungry soul named Alex found themselves entranced by the allure of the midnight special. With a grumbling stomach and a craving for adventure, they dialed the pizzeria's number. The phone rang, and a gruff voice answered, instructing them to wait. In what felt like moments, a knock echoed at Alex's door. When they opened it, a delivery person dressed in a dark hooded cloak stood before them, holding a steaming box of pizza. The air grew heavy with an unspoken tension, and the delivery person's face remained hidden in the shadows. Alex handed over the money and received the pizza, shivering involuntarily as a cold gust of wind swept through the doorway. As the door closed and the delivery person vanished into the night, Alex was left alone with their midnight special. A mix of anticipation and unease filled the room. The pizza's scent was intoxicating, but there was something off, something that made Alex hesitate. Summoning their courage, Alex lifted the lid. The toppings were peculiar, a mix of crimson and ebony ingredients that seemed to shift like living things. Uneasy yet compelled, they took a bite. Flavors exploded on their palate, a mixture of ecstasy and something darker, something that seemed to seep into their very being. The room began to warp, shadows dancing along the walls. Alex's surroundings transformed into a nightmarish dreamscape, the walls oozing with a sinister ooze, and a chilling laughter echoing in the distance. Panic set in as they realized they were trapped in a realm between reality and a surreal nightmare. Desperate to escape, Alex ventured deeper into the twisted landscape, encountering unsettling visions and eerie apparitions. Every step seemed to lead them further from sanity, and they realized that the midnight special was no ordinary pizza, it was a conduit to a realm of horrors, a link to Sal's secret intentions. As the night wore on, Alex fought to break free from the nightmare's grip. Guided by the distant memory of the delivery person, they discovered an ancient recipe hidden within the twisted realm. By speaking the recipe aloud, they severed the connection between the pizzeria and the nightmarish dimension. With a final struggle, Alex returned to their own world, the clock striking dawn as they gasped for breath. The midnight special had been more than a pizza, it had been a gateway to a malevolent realm that Sal had harnessed for his own ends. Armed with their experience, Alex vowed to expose the pizzeria's dark secret and put an end to its sinister offerings. Midnight Cravings, The Unseen Deliverance is a tale that blends culinary temptation with supernatural horror. It delves into the power of food to connect with the unknown and the consequences of delving too deeply into the forbidden. The Haunting Taste. In the heart of the bustling city, Gino's Gourmet Pizzeria was a hidden gem known for its delectable slices and cozy atmosphere. However, as daylight faded and the streets emptied, a different side of the pizzeria emerged, one that even the most devoted customers had never witnessed. For years, employees had whispered about strange occurrences after closing time. The lights flickered, utensils rearranged themselves, and the scent of freshly baked pizza lingered long after the ovens had gone cold. Most alarming of all were the unsettling whispers that seemed to echo through the empty dining area. One night, as curiosity got the better of him, a delivery driver named Mike decided to explore the pizzeria's secrets. After his shift ended, he lingered, pretending to lock up as he waited for the clock to strike midnight. Armed with a flashlight and a pounding heart, he ventured into the dimly lit dining area. As Mike's footsteps echoed on the tiled floor, the atmosphere grew heavy. Shadows danced along the walls, and the air seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy. He shone his flashlight around, revealing glimpses of stacked chairs and empty tables. But as he approached the counter, his flashlight flickered and died, leaving him in near darkness. Unnerved but determined, Mike felt his way to the kitchen. The scent of pizza was overpowering, even though the ovens were cold. With each step, the whispers grew louder, a chorus of fragmented sentences that seemed to come from all directions. Mike's heart raced as he strained to make out the words. Suddenly, a figure materialized before him, a spectral form with hollow eyes and a uniform that seemed to belong to another era. The ghostly presence held out a pizza box, its contents emitting a faint, eerie glow. The figure's lips moved, and though no sound reached Mike's ears, He understood the message, try the special. Fear clawed at his chest, but curiosity and a strange compulsion overpowered his terror. He opened the pizza box to find a slice adorned with toppings that seemed to writhe and shift. With a mix of dread and anticipation, he took a bite, and flavors exploded on his tongue, savory, sweet, and something unsettlingly unfamiliar. As the taste enveloped him, Mike's senses blurred. He found himself transported to a different realm, a distorted, surreal version of the pizzeria where gravity seemed to bend and dimensions overlapped. The ghostly figure guided him through this ethereal landscape, revealing glimpses of memories and emotions, both his own and those of others. The figure's story unfolded, an employee from a bygone era who had been consumed by his passion for pizza. Bound to the pizzeria, he sought to share his creations with the living, to evoke emotions that transcended time and space. Mike realized that the pizzeria itself was a conduit, a bridge between the living and the spectral. As dawn approached, the ghostly figure gently guided Mike back to reality, the pizzeria's atmosphere gradually returning to normal. The figure's purpose fulfilled, he faded away, leaving Mike standing alone in the kitchen. With a mix of awe and trepidation, Mike left the pizzeria, forever changed by his nocturnal encounter. He realized that Gino's Gourmet Pizzeria was more than just a restaurant, it was a place where the boundaries between the tangible and the supernatural were blurred, where flavors could transport the adventurous to realms beyond their wildest imagination. Slices of Dread. On the outskirts of a small town, a dilapidated pizzeria named Vincent Spies stood as a forgotten relic of the past. Rumors whispered that it was haunted, its eerie reputation keeping even the most daring locals at bay. Yet, as the clock struck midnight, the pizzeria's neon sign flickered to life, casting an otherworldly glow on the empty street. Intrigued by the tales, Mia, a curious college student with a penchant for the paranormal, decided to investigate. Armed with a digital recorder and her courage, she approached the abandoned pizzeria. The air grew colder as she crossed the threshold, and the interior seemed to stretch into darkness. Mia's footsteps echoed as she moved deeper into the pizzeria. Broken tables and chairs littered the floor, and the remnants of peeling wallpaper whispered stories of forgotten laughter and good times. She activated her digital recorder, asking questions to the unseen. To her surprise, whispered responses emerged from the static, faint murmurs that grew louder with each query. The disembodied voices seemed to form sentences, telling tales of unfinished pizzas, lost recipes, and a sense of longing that permeated the pizzeria's abandoned halls. Mia's exploration took her to the kitchen, where an old wood-fired oven still stood. Shadows seemed to dance within its depths, and the air was thick with an aroma that should have been impossible, freshly baked pizza. Despite the pizzeria's apparent abandonment, something alive lingered within those walls. A sudden gust of wind extinguished the candles Mia had brought, plunging her into darkness. Panicked yet determined, she relit her candles, only to find herself face to face with the spectral figure, Vincent, the pizzeria's long-deceased owner. His eyes held a mixture of sadness and nostalgia, and he seemed tethered to the place he had once loved. Through flickering candlelight, Vincent's story unfolded. The pizzeria had been his dream, a place where he poured his heart and soul into crafting the perfect pizzas. However, a series of tragic events led to the pizzeria's downfall, and Vincent's unfinished business kept him bound to the earthly realm. As the night wore on, Vincent revealed his longing for closure and his desire to share the magic of his pizzas one last time. Mia, touched by his story, proposed a plan. She would bake the pizzas using Vincent's forgotten recipes, allowing him to experience the joy of seeing his creations enjoyed once more. With Vincent's guidance, Mia set to work, kneading dough and layering toppings with a sense of reverence. As the pizzas emerged from the oven, the pizzeria seemed to come alive. Soft laughter echoed through the air, and the dimly lit space transformed into a vibrant haven of nostalgia and camaraderie. With Vincent's blessing, Mia invited a group of friends who had also been captivated by the pizzeria's mystique. As they shared slices of the ethereal pizza, they felt a sense of connection with the past and a celebration of life that transcended time. As dawn broke and the candles flickered out, Vincent's presence began to fade. He thanked Mia for granting him a final moment of joy, promising that he would finally find peace. The pizzeria's neon sign blinked off, and the abandoned building returned to its dormant state. Slices of Dread, the Midnight Pizzeria is a tale of nostalgia, connection, and the power of shared experiences. It explores the idea that places can hold memories and emotions that persist long after their initial purpose has faded.